It's the penultimate round of this year's Micra Challenge. The Fermanagh Forests lie in wait for the Trailer Parts and Spares Lakeland Stages Rally, a brilliant six-stage event organised by the Enniskillen Motor Club. The first Micra on the road is local driver Raymond Johnston, with his son Mark co-driving. Raymond made an excellent debut on the Mayday stages.
5 right, only 40, caution crest, 3 right in.
Forest is great fun, like, but I've never driven front-wheel drive on gravel, so baptism of fire on the first one. It's just more enjoyable and
Short, go right, don't go.
less hassle because you're on the one tyre and you're not worrying whether it rains or whatever. So, well, I'm hoping this week I'll not be sore on tyres anyway. So, I've got a wee bit of tuition there from Weavy. He says, never worry about bumps. He says everything's flat out. So that'll be interesting.
6 left, and crest, and flat crest, 100, 5 left, 60, crest, and care, slow 6 left, only 60 till unseen square left.
The challenge leader is Stanley Orr, and he has his regular co-driver Graham Henderson back in the hot seat. Stanley recorded a fine victory at the last round, the Ulster Rally.
First time in gravel with front wheel drive cars, so it's going to be a completely new thing to me. I'm starting to like the car in tarmac, but it'll take a wee bit of getting used to in gravel, but looking forward to it. I've done British Championship, I've done a lot of gravel, yes. Started basically in gravel back when I started rallying too, so the gravel itself's not a problem, it's just getting used to front wheel drive on it, you know. Bar tyres, a couple of wee changes in the suspension, and that's it, you know, just a couple of nicks, springs and all are the same. We haven't really changed anything else. But I certainly enjoyed it in an Escort. I'll tell you, if we get back to the service after the first loop, I'll tell you how enjoyable it is then.
Orr makes a slower than normal start on stage 1, but responds with the fastest time on stage 2. Making his challenge debut in a newly built kit car Micra is Hillsborough's Fraser Mulholland, with Simon Morrow co-driving. Fraser brings good experience from his Evo days, Fiesta R2 seasons, and his quad racing background.
Why I'm standing here in the Micra Challenge is probably something to do with Stephen Whitford. Talked us all into these Micras, so first time out here, we're going to have a bit of fun and see how we get on. The car, to be fair, first time out. Myself and my dad worked away with the help of Weavy building it, and yeah, we're looking forward to getting a bit of stone chips up the side of it here today, bit of gravel rash, and hopefully we make it back this afternoon. The last time I was out, I was in an Evo about 4 or 5 years ago, and it didn't end too well, so haven't been out from then, so hoping for a bit of better luck today. I think it's just basically down to the affordability of it. Weavy sort of put this challenge, and with the help of Peter Dowes, the boys, put this challenge together and hopefully encourage some younger boys into it, and yeah, basically Evo just wasn't cost effective, so yeah, we'll try the Micra and see how we get on with that. Rallying's never going to be cheap, but I think it's the best way to try and have some fun and good competition. Yeah, hopefully we'll make it back to service anyway. We'll get this 16-mile stage done and we'll see how it goes from then.
And what a start Fraser makes. He leads after stage 1, ahead of Raymond Johnston. Sean Foy made a great return to the series at the Ulster, taking 3rd place. He's still using borrowed parts from Peter Dowds to compete. Dowds isn't racing today.
Bridge into fast left, don't cut, 100. Fast, medium left, slow.
Foy won last year's Bushwhacker Micra gravel round and likes the loose surface. With Ashley Bolton in the co-driver's seat, they set a good pace in the opening stages.
60. Square right plus. Into.
I actually did the challenge last year with Jack Shields, and unfortunately Jack can't get out this year. So Ashley's sitting with various people, so I was fortunate enough to get him. He's a lot of experience, so I'm looking forward just to having him on the notes today. It'll be a big help.
40 down. down.
First gravel round for the Micras this year. It's hard to believe the years passed since we were last here, but it's a fantastic event. 16-mile stage is the third stage of the day, is the highlight, so that'll keep us all on our toes. So really looking forward to it. Still using Peter Dow's gearbox that we've borrowed. I'm sure one day we'll give it back to him, but it's helped me get through the end of the season. So we had a good run in the Ulster. We enjoyed it. That was the first rally of the season since the Bushwhacker. Tough event on tarmac, fairly tricky now. We were glad to get the finish, and say hopefully we'll be out today and maybe the last round of the challenge. So still all to play for. Pick up a few points. So the cars, not massively different. For the gravel today, all I really do is lower it and a wee bit of adjustment on the geometry, and the big change is going from tarmac tyres onto the gravel. But I have to say, gravel's my preferred surface. I do enjoy it a bit more. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of driving in these stages, so really looking forward to that. I'll be pleased to get round today. The guys in front in the kit cars, they'll all be going hard. I expect them to set some good times, so I'll just be doing my best to hang on to their coattails and enjoy myself. It has been really good. I think the Micra Challenge has actually reminded people a wee bit of sort of the old style rally when everybody was sort of running similar cars and things like that and able to share parts and help each other. So it's been really good. Yeah, Ashley stepped in. He reached out and offered, knowing I was a bit stuck. And all the guys here you'll see in service, they're all basically working in everybody's cars. So there's a lot of sharing with support and parts and things like that. So it helps make it more enjoyable and a wee bit cheaper at times as well.
16-year-old Ryan Kelly from Seaford has been working on Sean's car for 5 years. He is one of the up-and-coming stars of the Micra Challenge, even though he doesn't have a driving licence yet.
Oh, it's unreal. Unreal. I think I started working on rally cars when I was about 9 or 10. So I've been doing it most of my life. I just do it. I like working on the cars. I like driving the cars, and want to keep going with it. I help Sean service, and then I also drive my own wee rally car, a wee J1000 spec RSA Micra. It's just a 1 litre compared to the 1348, but still they go all right. I'm 16, so I can't drive, but I can do the single venue events like Shackleton and all the RSA events, and I could do the forestry events down south, but don't have the funds at the minute for that, so just not quite now, but I will get there someday. It's unbelievable. See, sitting on the start line ready to go, like the adrenaline is just pumping, and see when that light goes down, like just taking off the line, there's nothing like it. The experience is invaluable, so it is, and everything about driving techniques, working on the cars, setups, everything is just, it would take you years to try and figure that out yourself, whereas if they tell you straight away, it saves some amount of time. Sean, Weavy and the Hones, Jordan and Paul Hone, they helped me out something serious. Raymond Mason, all the guys. There isn't really this good a competition in any other type of car, and there's no car that you could really run on a small budget compared to these.
He's only 16 now, and I think he's been looking after the car for me on events for about 4 or 5 years. He started young, but he's a great help. He's really enthusiastic about it, to the extent that he has his own Micra now in the garage. He does some RSA events, and he's a busy boy. He did fantastically well in the studies this year, at the same time as running out to all the rallies with me last year, so he's a good lad, he's a great help. Ryan's a clever lad, and he does a lot of listening, and he watches what the other guys are doing. There's some experienced competitors here, between Stephen Whitford and Stanley Orr and Raymond Johnson, all the rest of it. Ryan just keeps an eye out and sees how these guys go about their rallying, because rallying, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of organising and getting stuff ready and all the rest of it, and he just soaks it all up and has a good idea what he needs to do on events, and I can sort of trust him to look after the car and do all the checks necessary, so he certainly picks it all up and enjoys it.
And the current Micra Challenge champion Stephen Whitford is full of praise for the teenager.
Well, he's mad keen for rallying, and he's come along with us, and we're sort of trying to keep him right, give him a few pointers on the rallies and what to do and what not to do and that. So it's really good. That's the whole idea of the challenge, really. Although it's full of old guys, it's really good to get some young blood, and if we can get some young blood in, that was the original plan, to have the Micra Challenge. So Ryan's a great example of that, where he's here servicing on every event and learning, and he has a little Micra at home which he's built himself. That's the starting point of getting him into rallying.
Although Whitford has had other commitments this season, he still has made the journey to the Fermanagh Lakelands to help other competitors and offer support.
There's a couple of cars are on my workshop at home, and Sean Foy was waiting on a new gear kit which hasn't arrived yet, so we ended up having to take the gearbox out of Peter's car in our workshop and put it into Sean's to get him going for the rally. So that's good. It's good that we can do that. All the cars are the same, so we can share parts if needs be, you know. I hadn't been thinking much about it, and then I've come here today and I'm thinking I wish I had my car here to race Stanley, and young Fraser's out in his new kit car, so and the sun's shining. It's a great event, and we won this event I think in the Micros last year, so the stages are good, and when you're standing here you're thinking I wish I was doing it, you know. Up to now I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
Thankfully, there's no talk of his own competitive retirement just yet.
Not just yet, I don't think. I think it's just simply date clashes, but I still have the car, so we'll get it ready and be out again somewhere. I just don't know when yet, you know.
Well, he's likely had his day, you know. No, he'll not retire. No, he's been busy. I think he's plenty on his plate this year. I thought maybe he would have come, but I don't think he was supposed to be free this weekend either. So maybe we'll see how this goes, and maybe he'll turn out for the last round.
I don't know, I'm not sure. It's scared of the competition or scared of these older boys maybe beating him, I'm not sure. But no, hopefully we'll get him talked into getting his car out. It's a good job he wasn't out this week because he was working on my car all week. So yeah, hopefully see him back out. His knowledge for rallying and everything he does rallying, he knows so much about it. So no, he's very valuable, and there's nothing about an Nissan Micra that Stevie doesn't know. So yeah, he's a good guy, and a bit of crack afterwards as well.
If somebody would come along and prepare the car for me the way I've helped Sean, and you know, maybe that would get me out, you know. But no, it's just simply a time thing, you know. Getting the car ready and having the time to do that has just caused me not to be here, you know. So Peter's kind of in the same boat, like, because he's been a lot of work commitments with F1 and different jobs, and he's missed every round as well. So you know, that's the way it is.
Raymond McLaughlin with co-driver Martin McBrearty are taking it easy in the morning sun today. After a great Ulster rally, they're hoping their change in fortune continues after some work on their car.
Well, the car was a new build, and it turns out the drives that were in it were the original ones, which are only a 1 litre, and the car's been converted to a 1.4, so the drives weren't just up to it. So in the Tour of the Sperrins, the drive broke. In the Donegal rally we had a head gasket failure, but the Ulster rally, no trouble whatsoever, and the car went to the sewing machine, so hopefully more of the same. The last time I was in the forest was about 25 years ago on a 4-wheel drive, so this is definitely going to be new to me, but it will be fun, and the car's probably set up okay for it, and the tyres are okay for it, and so the weather's beautiful.
It really is a superb day out for everyone in the paddock with the Fermanagh heat.
My son John is doing the event today in a Mark II Escort. I ended up in the Micro Challenge corner because they happen to be the friendliest, funniest people around. And I always do a bit of hospitality, feeding people, and it doesn't matter who's about. When we're in the gang, everybody gets fed and whatever. So I need to know what time they're coming back into service so that the barbecue's on. And because that's the thing about rallying that lots of people seem to have lost, but Micro Challenge hasn't. It's the family, the fun, the friendship, and the crack during the day. So don't take times not too seriously. They're just here for the crack.
Back into the forest, and Mulholland, after that blistering start, unfortunately finds big trouble on stage 2. That means a lot of work in the service area.
On the second stage, we just slid wide, like 6 right, and we got buried in the undergrowth, so we spent 20 minutes trying to dig her out until the boys arrived in the Jeep and pulled us back out. So got going again. And then the third stage we had no brakes. So first stage was good, second stage not so good, and third stage not so good. So we'll try it here 4, 5 and 6, hopefully get a run out here and a bit of crack.
Whitford is trying to get his lunch, but is mucking in and helping the first timer get back on the road for the afternoon stages.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Stephen and all the boys here, to be fair, arrived in the Jeep then the stage to pull us out, so without them would still be sitting there. So yeah, it's great. I was doing some sweating trying to dig her back out. But yeah, maybe it was good fun now, but yeah, we better stay on the road, I think.
At the halfway point, it's Raymond and Mark Johnston who have been flying. A solid father-son combination.
My father, Raymond, sort of got family duties is sitting on, so it's very enjoyable. I've done a couple of rallies with him, to be honest, but it always ends up with a bit of a laugh, and don't take it too serious, and it's good fun. So this is the first time out in the micro and gravel, and it definitely is it's as good as value as we've had in a long time, to be fair.
The local family team lead from Sean Foy and current Micro Challenge Series leader Stanley Orr, who's having some shock trouble.
I was come in there saying the back end of the car was too soft. She was bouncing really badly on the 16-mile stage, and say Sean thought it was an excuse, but he took the shock absorber out and the canister off the shock absorber is gone. There's no canister on it. So we've got the end of two. Ian Craig lent me two Group 4 Escort Bullsteins, so we're putting them into the back of her to try and get her through.
Sean's going very well. He's lying third at the minute, but we just jacked her up, checked her over. Lucky we did. The back bottom shock bolt was lying within maybe 1 mil of threads left on it, so I had to get that out and change it. Make sure she's well tightened up. If that had came out, well, you wouldn't have much suspension in the back end. So it's just lucky we find that there. We've had a bit more luck than these and stuff.
Fraser Mulholland is back to his best on stage 4, setting the fastest time. But a second place on the stage and a fastest time on stage 5 keeps Raymond Johnston in the overall lead in what is turning into a thrilling micro challenge. Stanley Orr consolidates second place overall with the borrowed Escort shocks. That would be good enough for the Challenge Series win in 2024, with his nearest challenger Andrew Bush not competing today.
6 right over the finish, opens into a fast medium left half long, 100.
Sean Foy is pushing hard for his podium place.
Good man.
Wee bit tighter.
That was good, stay up.
Mulholland again goes fastest on the final stage through Ballintempo, but it's the local pair of Raymond and Mark Johnston who hold on for the victory.
Today went good. Sitting on the start line of the first stage, and I said to Mark, I don't know what's going to happen here because we were never on gravel. And he says, just go as hard as you can for as long as you can. It worked well. I know Stanley had a wee bit of bother writing up, and so had Fraser, but happy enough. It's really enjoyable on gravel, to be funny, to be fair, you know. It's bumpy, you know, but that long stage is always bumpy. But it didn't cut up too bad, you know. Sure, it's good. But I said at the end of the rally, I said to Mark, I don't care what the time is, you know. I've really enjoyed the long stage both times. But Fraser had a real good time on it the last time. He had bother the first time over, so fair play to him. He took 8 or 10 seconds out of us, I think, on it, you know.
He's been always involved in motorsport as long as I've been about. Anyway, he's raced karts and rallying for as long as I can remember, so you kind of can't put refusing out, and so it's good fun. Whenever everyone, like he's not a bit late, he tips on all right, so whenever everyone clicks well, it's very enjoyable. Here, whenever you get the helmet and the whole gear on, it's hard to just drive around it, so you have to go as hard as you can, just as long as you can, to end up with a class win's pretty good as well. Delighted. It was good to get a day out of them now. It's not that often we're out in the same car, so it was good to get a race.
I mean, the car's real fun to drive, like, definitely. There's no house should be without one, really.
4 left and 5 right. Over crest, 40, 4 left.
And next time they will reverse roles, with Mark in the driver's seat.
And finish. Oh.
Stanley Orr is second today and is crowned the overall Micra Challenge champion for 2024.
My car's been very good. It's been reliable. I think that's the worst that's happened to it today with the shock absorber breaking. But I think something must have hit it, for it wouldn't normally break that way. But yeah, interesting to drive with a broken shock. But yeah, it was all right. It's fine. The car's been good overall, very good, and they're reliable. They're pretty quick and they're pretty reliable. You know, it's the same. It doesn't really matter what car or whatever. The Micra's brilliant. You see, when you've got like-minded people doing the same championship and everybody enjoys it, that just makes it all, so it does. So same back in the historics and stuff, you're rallying with the same type of people doing the same thing, so yes, that's what makes it what it is. I'm happy enough to end up winning it, if you know what I mean. Very happy to have won it, so yeah, there's another round to go, so we'll go and have a bit of fun in it. Towards the end of the year there's another round to go, and hopefully all the boys turn out again and we get another good race.
So champagne for Stanley Orr as he heads off to Australia for a month, knowing he's the new Micra Challenge champion. But he'll be back for the final round, and it's going to be a cracker at the Dog Leap next month. We'll see you then.